Hey, it's Macktion from tabletroms.com, and I have a Samsung Galaxy Tab 10.1 that was sent to us by Samsung to review. So we'll go ahead and give it a second to boot up. Now, as I mentioned, this is the 10-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab. Kind of a little bit excited to review this, especially because there's so much hubbub in various countries about the legality or illegality of Samsung's tablet. So, I'll get this centered. Now, as you'll be able to see in just a second, they've got a nice little loading screen, and we've got our traditional opening here. Okay, so as you can see, I do have a couple apps installed. Now, I'm not a big fan of having widgets and such on the home screen, but thinned it out a bit. It is pretty responsive. Let's go to the settings here. Now, it is running Honeycomb. This particular one's got the version 3.1, as I'm sure you can see. Right there. There are a couple cool and interesting features that you can access in the settings, like, for example, motion control. So you can do stuff like hold and sort of shake your tablet to get rid of certain windows and things like that. It is kind of interesting using it, but it begins to feel pretty good pretty quickly. And it was really nice of Samsung to throw in something like that just as part of their software overlay. Now, wireless is interesting. The wireless connects blazing fast. So we'll go ahead and turn off the wireless and then turn it right back on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bam. And it's got an IP address already. So it does a really good job of doing that really quickly, which I'm surprised because it does it a lot faster than most. While we're on the subject of software, I did take the time to do some benchmarks for the tab. I used the Antutu benchmark as well as the Quadrant standard. In the Quadrant, we came out with a pretty much 2,335 score, and the Antutu came out with a 5,035, which is pretty reasonable, pretty darn good, to be perfectly honest, and they performed well in the various benchmarks. Now, the touchscreen's very responsive. The panel that they used was quite excellent, and the software keeps up pretty darn well. So, of course, also in the overlay that they've got our quick things there. We've got brightness, and you can change that really quickly, and settings. I'm happy to have settings really quickly and easily launchable. Now, there does happen to be this bar along the bottom that by touching it, you can bring up some of these multitaskable things like the calculator. So I've got the calculator up. We'll go ahead and bring up the browser, and it stays up, stays there. It does get a little transparent. I'm sure you can see that. A little translucent, I suppose, is the right word. But so we'll go ahead and close that out. But it works great. Now, my dad, amusingly enough, recently took a flight with his iPad, and he needed a calculator, but he couldn't, connect to any place because, it's the plane. Well, he was a little disappointed to not have a calculator. So anyway, I rubbed this one in his face. Anywho, we can open up the Task Manager two different ways, either from there on the bottom or by long pressing the Home button. And it's really nice to have that just built in and working properly. The other thing to mention is, of course, you've got your little home bar here, and the last one's the screenshot. So I'll just go ahead and take a screenshot. There we go of my home screen. So I hope it comes in handy in the future. So all in all, it's pretty good on most of the software aspects. I would give it flying colors.